Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome back to our growing community. I'm Barb Kornbrath. I am your host and Unstuck Coach. And today is our second Wisdom Wednesday. And Wisdom Wednesday is going to touch upon a different piece of the Unstuck method depending on the lesson. So, hi, Amy. I just saw you pop in, so I lost my train of thought. So developing our wisdom mind is all about not having judgment, but rather observing our thoughts and our actions and our words kind of from a distance and detaching from them. So it's almost like I am on a movie screen. I'm watching myself on a movie screen, and I'm just watching how my day goes and how I process my day, instead of getting stuck and attaching to thoughts that produce the emotions that can change my mood. So today we're going to focus on one of the mind traps, and probably on a few of the Wednesdays I'll talk about other mind traps. So what we're trying to do is to develop our awareness of our thoughts and emotions, because when we do, we have the opportunity to change them if we investigate them. So this particular mind trap is called catastrophizing. And I don't know if Ashley Turner coined this phrase. She was my teacher in my Yoga Psyche Soul course, and she's a yoga teacher and a yoga psychologist, and she just does amazing work. So what is catastrophizing? Catastrophizing is when we see the worst case scenario. And we play the what if game in the mind. And when we are stuck in what ifs, we produce the emotions of fear, doubt, procrastination, and sometimes even panic attacks. So what we want to start to do is to become aware of when we use the what if. The good news is that if you can catch yourself, well, this happened, well, what if? If you can write down what if blank, so if you can fill in the blank, you just found where you are stuck, because it's that thought that produces the emotion of fear, panic, or anxiety, or doubt, or procrastination. And hopefully through this lesson, that will make a little bit more sense. So I'm going to give you some examples of catastrophizing. So I'm going to look at my notes here. So maybe I have a mole. I have a mole in my body, and it looks a little suspicious to me. And I say to myself, I really should get this checked. But what if it's serious? Okay, but what if it's serious? Maybe I would love to travel to Europe. I would love to go to Europe, but what if the plane crashes? Here's another example. I'd like to apply for the new job that was just posted, but what if I'm not qualified or I'm not experienced enough? I would love to grow a community of uplifting mindset, but what if I fail? All right. So do you see what catastrophizing is? It's using the what if in a scenario, something that I want to do, but the what if is going to hold me back because it produces the emotion of fear. And when we feel fear and anxiety, we don't want to do it. So we're reinforcing the mind to say, not going to happen. So what is the solution to this mind trap of catastrophizing? It's finding the truth. So there's an activity we do in the Unstuck method where it's in the tell step. So stuck is stop, tell, uncover, consider, and kindness. So the tell step is where we try to identify our thoughts and emotions and our mood and how it lands in our body. And what the circumstance is we try to identify the truth. So this actually goes into the uncover. So let's investigate for the truth. Okay, so we're using the tell and the uncover. So what is a circumstance? A circumstance is factual. The circumstance is true. The circumstance is neutral. It's our thoughts that go on top of the circumstance that create a story. So you might have heard that I label our thoughts, our emotions, and our mood as a story. And it's not to underestimate what is happening in our story. It's just vocabulary. So we have the same terminology. So we have circumstance and we have story. So I'm going to use the same examples that I just gave us, and we're going to separate the two, because this is how we solve the catastrophizing in our mind. So I have a mole on my body and it looks suspicious and I need to get it checked, but I'm afraid that it's serious. So the circumstance is I have a mole on my body, okay? I don't, but like I could show you if I did, and you would say, yes, you have a mole on your body. And I'd say, yes, I have a mole on my body. The story is the what if. Well, what if it's serious? And what if it's something I don't want to deal with? And what if you can come up with all of these thoughts? And that's where we stay stuck. Because what if it's cancer? What does that produce? Fear. And if we stay stuck and keep considering that same thought, we stay stuck in fear. Let's look at the next example. I'd love to travel to Europe, but what if the plane crashes? What is the circumstance? A trip to Europe. What is the story? Well, what if the plane crashes? What if something happens? What if I never see my kids again? What if? That's our story. And all of those thoughts produce what? Joy? Happiness? Calmness? No, fear, anxiety, panic. Let's look at the next example. I'd like to apply for that new job that just posted, but what if I'm not experienced enough? And what if I just don't have what they're looking for? What is the circumstance? What is the fact? The truth. The fact is a new job posting just came up. Here's the job posting. We could both see it. We could both agree 100% that that's the fact. What is the story? Well, what if I'm not qualified? What if I'm not experienced? What if I'm not what they're looking for? Do those thoughts produce excitement, encouragement? Not in my mind. They produce doubt, fear. Like, no, I'm not going to even apply, right? Okay. Finally, for instance, what if I want to build this online community where we uplift each other and we start to change our mindset? But what if I fail? The circumstance is this online community. The story is, but what if I fail? What if people don't think it's valuable? What if I'm not helping people? Do those thoughts produce encouragement and confidence? They produce fear, doubt, and procrastination. So, I'm going to give you a little, I'm trying to teach you as I go along. So yesterday I shared that we had some sad news, and it was Take a Stop Tuesday. And I reminded myself that I needed a lot more stops. I needed a lot more stops to stay balanced. So building this online community, I could have waited probably another year because I want it to be perfect. I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I want to know exactly what I'm sharing all the time. Well, guess what? If I wait for the perfect time, it'll never happen. It'll never happen because there's always doubt, there's always fear, there's always something to change. So the what ifs hold me back. So sometimes we have to be able to break through the fear and move forward, and we learn as we go. So is everything I'm presenting exactly the way I intend to all the time? But I learn. So for instance, I'm sharing this video with you, but in the future, I'm going to have different technology where I can show you slides and help you with things that support the lesson. Does that mean that just the video is not valuable, so I shouldn't do it? I hope not, but I think it's still of value. Okay. So What we want to start doing is identifying if we have these catastrophizing moments. I want to try something new, but what if? I really like this guy or this person, but I've been hurt before, and what if that happens again? So you can see how we're constantly feeding the negative feedback loop in our mind. So the first step is awareness. So with your journal, it's really helpful if you have a what if moment to write it down. Because I say this a lot, when it's in our mind and it's in the story, it is subjective. And we're just riding along on autopilot. If we can pull that thought out and put it on paper, we see it objectively. We see it, we feel it differently. So we want to start to recognize if we're catastrophizing and what emotion it's producing. And do we want to be anxious? Do we want to be fearful? And if we don't want to be that way, there is an alternative. And that's when we come to the consideration step. If we can prove that this belief really isn't true, not entirely, then we can consider something else. So I will, if you like, I'm going to develop some worksheets. And so, say me, I would like them. The best way to do this is to be sure that you're on my email list. And you can do that by going to my website, barbsyogaden.com, sign up for the free meditation slip and this free meditation sheet, and you get onto my newsletter, because I put a lot of this in the newsletter and I can easily put attachments in there. So the worksheet is, writing down the what if, figuring out the circumstance, and figuring out the story. So deciphering it. So we're always looking for the truth. So tomorrow it used to be, for 1 week, it was Thoughtful Thursday. And guess what? I just changed it to Transformation Thursday. So was Thoughtful Thursday perfect? No. So what happens? I learn along the way. And why did I change it? I'm changing it to Transformation Thursday because it's the consideration step that gets us unstuck from, in this case, fear. So tomorrow I pull a consideration card. I don't have them with me. I started doing that last week. Nina Hufford, she practices in the den. And every Monday she reminds me that I forgot, or she'll say, what is our consideration card for the week? So for example, I'm going to share this with you. So I had her pull a card and it was consider calm. So with my examples of what ifs, so I have a mole on my body, but I'm really afraid to get it checked because what if it's serious? Could I consider being calm in that situation? I'd love to travel to Europe, but it requires me flying over the ocean, and what if it crashes? Can I consider being calm? So I'll draw a consideration card for you if you show up when I am online, and if not, because who knows when I'm online, just post in the comment section, pull a card, and I'll pull a card and I'll tag you in it so you have a consideration to apply to your life for the week. All right, questions, post them. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Please comment. And that is it for today. So today was catastrophizing. Be kind to yourself if you find where you are getting stuck. It is an opportunity to see where your mind is. And so I invite you to have curiosity and excitement about that instead of judgment and guilt or shame, because this is an opportunity for us to shift our mindset, and that makes us feel a lot better. Until tomorrow, namaste.